one of the most mysterious yet useful and powerful elements in nature and human life. When it is not properly directed, water flows as flood, flushing away objects, humans, and structures on its path. Instead of trying to stop the flow, intelligent people redirect the flow of water to farmlands, dams, and other useful purposes. Like flowing water, human beings are bundles of different energies for the society and the universe. Yet, without directing human energies for collaborative productivity in the society, it becomes a force for destruction. Welcome to the 15th episode of Restartnaija. In the last episode, we discussed the roles of religion and humanities in the society. We noted that religion directs humans to discover and pursue their purposes in life with a supernatural conviction towards utilizing human and natural resources for common good. In this episode, we shall discuss the effects of beliefs in managing human resources in Nigeria. Individuals choose locations for living, working, or celebrating depending on the type of people living and managing the environment. While some locations have collaborative and productive people, other locations have unproductive and destructive people. People who are transformed for collaborative productivity create skyscrapers, beautiful cars, airplanes, gadgets, infrastructure, wonderful human relationship, and healthy society. People who are not transformed for collaborative productivity bring violence, terrorism, injustice, social disorder, and destruction. Spreading transformation in a society through education depends on the belief of the society about human beings, whether as liability or assets. Seeing humans as assets for productivity and development, most developed countries uphold education as part of their basic human rights. Societies like USA, Germany, Canada, Australia invest heavily in education and research in order to develop the productivity and collaboration within their society. These heavy investments continuously yield fruits in scientific and social advancement for improving human life. Citizens of these societies continuously create miraculous wonders in healthcare, computing, robotics, aviation, manufacturing, defense, and other sectors. These inventions, from which those governments obtain huge taxes, would not have been possible without education and access to resources for research and production. Unfortunately, human beings are seen as necessary liabilities for getting votes in Nigeria. They become important 6 months to the election and become useless for the next 3.5 years. The consistency of this situation demands an investigation into the causes. Colonialists created Nigeria by violently binding unconsented communities and kingdoms under militarized governments for exploiting mineral resources. They killed those who opposed their invasion and trained the loyal ones to assist them in enforcing the colonial rule. Before leaving at independence, the colonialists handed over to their native assistants an installed constitution to guide them in seizing and exporting the people's resources, only to get foreign consumer products from Europe. To appear democratic, Nigeria's colonially imposed government created states, ministries, and local governments to share few imported products as salaries, infrastructure, and charity handouts. Since then, many Nigerians struggle to occupy these colonially made offices in order to enjoy foreign money from seized local resources. Since mineral resources have been seized for export, politics became the most viable industry in Nigeria. Hence, politicians who assist in impoverishing the people share few naira notes and foodstuffs as grassroots politics. During election, politicians provide guns to unemployed and frustrated Nigerian youths as political thugs. And after election, many of these thugs use these guns for criminal activities. Today, politicians don't see any industrial need for educating Nigerians, since they are already benefiting more from exporting Nigeria's mineral resources. Hence, Nigeria's imposed constitution downplays education by stating that government shall provide free primary, university education and free adult literacy program when practicable. The important question becomes, when will the provision for education ever be practicable? Is it when the politicians finish sending their children to study abroad, or when they finish buying private jets and foreign estates? Instead of providing adequate education for collaborative productivity, many politicians encourage people to pray, hate, or blame other people for their misfortunes. Later, the same politicians create security agencies to suppress the frustrated and desperate people who could have been educated for productivity. There may never be productivity or progress in a society without cordial collaboration between its inhabitants. And there may never be cordial collaboration without social education for respecting other people. Despite all these irregularities, a sincere government will arise to conduct a social research in order to distinguish the different kingdoms and communities that have been brutally bound together in Nigeria, along with their lands and resources. This research will lead to intercommunal discussions among local governments, states and regions, leading to a national conference for the different ethnic communities to agree on their mode of partnership. After discussions and registration of people's lands and onshore resources, the different kingdoms and communities will retrieve ownership of their lands in order to manage them for industrial productivity. From that, they can pay percentile taxes to the federal government. This will encourage the government to protect the people's productivity for better tax returns and encourage the people to be more productive. After obtaining ownership of their resources for productivity, the different people will take primary responsibility of educating their natives for industrial productivity. When Nigerians begin to use their resources for industrial productivity, they become productive assets instead of necessary liabilities, waiting and begging government, individuals, and foreigners for charity. Thank you for watching this episode of Restartnaija. Please like and share this video so that more Nigerians can understand the circumstances in which we are. My name is Chukwunike Enekwechi. God bless you and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.